Have there ever been times where you've benefited from a change of scenery? It's early, but that appears to be the case for Dyson Daniels. Drafted by the New Orleans Pelicans, the 21-year-old was traded to the Atlanta Hawks as a part of the Dejounte Murray trade this offseason. Now with the Hawks, Daniels has a consistent role as a starter and is really beginning to establish himself, specifically on the defensive end. I'm going to take a deeper dive into what makes Daniels so unique on that end of the floor and what type of player he could be as his game continues to grow. Entering the NBA from G League Ignite, Daniels was a polarizing prospect for some, as a 6'7 point guard who wasn't much of a scoring threat, though there was one thing people could agree on: his potential impact as a defender. Given his mix of size, length, and lateral movement, he projected as a player who could defend multiple positions. This has been the case so far with the Hawks, as he's been asked to defend players ranging from Jalen Brunson to Jason Tatum, which is quite the size difference. The one thing he's been very consistent at is altering opponents' possessions with deflections. Through 9 games, Daniels is averaging a ridiculous 7.3 deflections. For reference, that's nearly 3 more per game than the next closest player. Not surprisingly, Daniels leads the league in steals with over 3 a game, which as of now would be the 4th highest mark in an NBA single season, though he's been racking up these steals in a variety of ways. This starts off as what appears to be Jonas Valanciunas getting the ball to Jordan Poole on a handoff. The look at Daniels on Poole, he gives him no room to separate, which stops that action. Now with a little separation and Daniels having his back to the ball, Valanciunas wants to get the ball back to Poole. But look at Daniels. Even with his back to the ball, he anticipates a pass, which he deflects, and it leads to 2 points for the Hawks the other way. Here, Chet Holmgren has the ball and is attacking a Clint Capella closeout, which on paper is a beneficial matchup for the Thunder. Though as Holmgren gets downhill, look at Daniels start to rotate from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander towards him. As Chet gets into a spin move, Daniels is right there, and he rips the ball away before Chet can make a decision and eliminates a potential advantage. That is far from the only time where Daniels has used his quick hands to record a steal before a ball handler can even react. This play initially doesn't even appear to involve Daniels, who is around the nail as Dennis Schroeder passes to a big man to set up a handoff. While Trae Young is working to stick with Schroeder, you could see Daniels start to rotate towards the ball, though he then does something you rarely see, as he just takes the potential handoff away and prevents the Nets from getting into their offense. Not surprisingly, Daniels has shown a lot of flashes defending and pick and roll in isolation. This initially starts with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting downhill after a Chet Holmgren screen, though as he gets into the paint, Daniels recovers and jars the ball loose for a deflection. This now forces a reset, and Gilgeous-Alexander goes to an isolation possession where he's a very tough cover. Daniels sticks with him off the dribble, and even when Shai creates some space, does a nice job recovering to contest the off-the-dribble jumper. Here Daniels has been picking up Jalen Brunson full court, and Karl Anthony Towns is about to set a screen at half court. Daniels works through it, and he's now on Brunson's back, which the All-Star is very good at manipulating to draw fouls, though Daniels is able to get out of it as he makes up the ground around the free throw line and is now stride for stride with Brunson. The result is a nice contest on a tough layup attempt that results in a miss and a Hawks rebound. Now, how has Daniels performed offensively? The results are pretty mixed. Not surprisingly, he's been very effective in transition, where he can get out and run off turnovers and when defenses aren't fully set. He's also a solid cutter, but scoring outside of that can be rough. The 21-year-old has shot just 24% from 3 when shooting off the catch, and while he's finished well around the rim, he struggled on shots such as floaters that require touch. Though Daniels isn't a primary facilitator playing next to Trae Young, he's still able to keep the ball moving offensively, which is always a valuable skill for players in a complementary role. If the start to this season is any indication, Daniels looks like he has the makings of an all-defensive team caliber player. Still just 21 years old, there's plenty of room to improve, as him shooting around league average from 3 would open up things for both him and teammates. Daniels is also in a nice role next to Young, as he can still showcase some passing, but isn't relied on as a primary facilitator. Though even as is, Daniels offers a defensive skill set any team would covet, and is emerging as a candidate for Most Improved Player while looking like a key piece within the Hawks' young core. If you made it this far, thank you, and if you enjoyed the video, don't hesitate to like and subscribe to stay up to date on my basketball analysis throughout the 2024-25 season.